Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are now approaching day 3 of the custom Mario mail-in tournament. The last couple of days have been absolutely crazy, and I'm sure we'll see more of that today. Here's the first group for day 3. Number 20, Arlo, 106.5 grams. Number 45, the Epic Guys, 44.4 grams. Number 18, Cloaked After Dark, 62.29 grams. And number 34, Bobby Jones at 63.67 grams. I'm not quite sure what Bowser's sitting in there, but I'm guessing that's just to keep him from falling out. But this is definitely quite the lineup here. It looks like we might have War Machine, Captain Marvel, Mario with boosters based off the Mario movie it seems, and Bowser sitting in a vehicle that I don't think he normally sits in. But this circles back to how much I love these custom designs, because creativity goes through the roof, and I love seeing what the fans and the racers come up with. In this first race, though, we have Arlo coming into the final stretch all by himself, finishing in first without much of an issue. They do finish with a 15.36, though. That is not too far off from the fastest time. I think that's about a little less than a full second. Speaking of which, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I realize that I completely missed the fact that the fastest time record has been broken in the last video, and that was done by Blue Line. It was very close, but they did break the record by about 0.02 seconds, I believe. So now the fastest time record does belong to Blue Line Racing. In this heat right here, though, Arlo does have the upper hand now that he's finished in first at least once. And they do take a bit of a lead right off the bat. And as I've mentioned in a lot of other videos before, if you get a lead early on, that is definitely going to help you, because then you have an opportunity to block other people from passing you. And the nose block is one of the more popular maneuvers I've seen should it come to that. Right now, though, Arlo has no competition as they go into that little hill, and they go into the finish line, still haven't lost a race. And who's going to finish in second? It looks like it will be Cloaked After Dark. Meanwhile, the Epic Guys and Bobby Jones have yet to finish. Here comes Bobby Jones, at least. And they do finish in third, which is a step up from before. But it looks like now the Epic Guys will not finish, and they will get stuck before they even get in that last turn. Yeah, that car for Arlo doesn't exactly look the most comfortable, but apparently it's effective, and that's all that matters. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Bobby Jones. Maybe it's the way Bowser's positioned in that vehicle. But it seems like the bigger you are, the less aerodynamic you become, which is definitely a problem in a race of speed. I mean, most races are about speed, but you get what I mean. In this third race, Arlo just needs one more win in order to solidify a spot in today's finals. And so far, they haven't had much competition, so it's looking pretty good for them. It looked like Cloaked After Dark might have been relatively close at first, but Arlo has just been widening that gap as he progresses through this track. Approaching that last hill, and no one's anywhere near them, and they do solidify a spot in today's finals. Cloaked After Dark did try to catch them, but there was just too much of a gap in between them. Here come the other two racers, and it looks like both of them will finish this time. So for the first time in this group, everybody has finished. Now, Arlo is finishing in first each time, but just because you finish in first every time does not mean you are the fastest racer in the entire tournament. Because you could get good times, or rather get good position now, but if your times aren't good, that's going to be trouble for you when you go to face other winners later. Heat number 4. Right now, Arlo is already in today's finals. It's just a matter of who will join him, and the favorite currently leans towards Cloaked After Dark, who has a total of 8 points, whereas the Epic Guys has 5 and Bobby Jones has 3. So Bobby Jones really, unfortunately, does not have much of a chance to move on right now. And the Epic guys will need something really good to happen to them, while Cloaked After Dark would need something really bad to happen to them. But right now, Arlo does finish in first yet again, so they keep their hope of being undefeated alive. And Cloaked After Dark finishes in second, so they will be moving on alongside Arlo in today's finals. Valiant effort by the other two, but unfortunately, they fall short, and Bobby Jones stops where the Epic guys stopped before. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the design on that vehicle, but somehow they're able to stay straight for the most part. Maybe it's because the way the weight's distributed, I'm not entirely sure. Physics was never my specialty. So Arlo and Cloaked After Dark will be moving on. Let's see who will join them in the second group. We have number 50, Pinky Vader, at 50.13 grams. Number 12, Here Comes the Mac, at 73.13 grams. Number 54, Yoshi Virus, at 91.46 grams. And number 21, Noob Racing, at 101.81 grams. This is certainly a wide variety, not just in terms of vehicles, but who is driving them. Only one of them is a Mario character. The other three are pretty obscure in all the best ways. As implied by the name Pinky Vader, it is driven by Darth Vader. It looks like we have Ronald McDonald for Here Comes the Mac. And then we have, I think that's Snoopy in the Noob Racing vehicle. Right now, though, Yoshi Virus is out in front, but he skids sideways completely, and he loses so much speed, so the other racers are right behind him now. But two of them crashed into each other, and they lost speed, and now Yoshi Virus is able to finish in first as a result. And who finished in second? I want to say it was Noob Racing after all that commotion. Yeah, it definitely was, but look at those times. 17.76. Again, even if you finish in first, you definitely want to pick up the pace if you want to beat some of the other racers later on. Yeah, I'm not sure what's covering Yoshi. That might be a virus in of itself. Like something similar to what Samus had in some of the Metroid games. But here we go into the second race, and it looks like Pinky Vader now has the lead. And as we get into these lane mergers here, Yoshi Virus is trying to catch Pinky Vader as they get down this straight line, but so far unsuccessful. And Pinky Vader is able to widen that gap just a little bit. And as they go around that last turn, Yoshi Virus is catching up a little bit, but Pinky Vader spins around, and here come more of the racers actually. And Noob Racing does finish in second ahead of Yoshi Virus this time. And I think Pinky Vader does take the win there. And it looks like they, despite spinning, managed to finish slightly quicker. And I am not sure how Ronald McDonald is driving that vehicle with the way he's sitting. Maybe he's driving with his knees, I'm not entirely sure. But this is already quite the commotion. Two people tied for 7 points, one with 6 and one with 2. And it looks like anything can happen with the way they're finishing. As they often say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And as they get into the lane merges, they do have a bit of a collision. And now Noob Racing is out in front with Here Comes the Mac in second. But as we get around this turn, Noob Racing is taking off. In that last turn, the other three races are relatively close together, but Noob Racing does take the win, which is very helpful for them. Definitely something that they needed. And it looks like Here Comes the Mac managed to finish in second. It's definitely not a first place win, but if they want to keep any chance up for moving on, that's what they needed to do. It's definitely a start. After we look at the points here, it looks like Noob Racing has 11, Yoshi Virus has 9. I want to say Pinky Vader had 7 or 8? Yeah, Pinky Vader had 8. And Here Comes the Mac now has 5. So that definitely makes things a bit closer now. And here comes the fourth race, and it looks like Pinky Vader had a slight lead, but here comes the Mac. I don't know what they're doing, but it's certainly working for them now. because they finished in 4th the first couple of times, but now they have a decent-sized lead. They're getting into this next stretch before the final turn, and they are in the lead. Will they be able to hold on to it is the ultimate question, because the other racers are coming up quick, but Pinky Vader spins around, blocking Noob Racing. And here comes the Mac. Might have gotten what they need to move on. It's going to be awfully close. We'll have to see the scores, because these racers kept going back and forth in terms of who's in what position. We'll have to see. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tiebreaker actually. Here comes the Mac. Did have a valiant effort, but despite that first place win at the end, it was just short. If they had finished better than 4th in at least one of those first 2 races, they might have moved on. But now that second position alongside Noob Racing will be fought between Pinky Vader and Yoshi Virus. I believe they will race twice, and whoever has the faster time between the 2 races will be the one moving on. So let's say you have the fastest time in the first race, but then you finish in 2nd in the second race. If that second race time is slower, then the loser of the second race will still move on because they still have the overall faster time. Right now, Pinky Vader does have the advantage here, finishing with a 17.54. So in order for Yoshi to move on, alongside Noob Racing, they will need to finish faster than that here. If they don't, they are out and Pinky Vader will move on. And right now, Pinky Vader does have the lead. And Yoshi Virus will definitely need a miracle at this point. Pinky Vader has spun out a few times already, so maybe that could work to Yoshi Virus's advantage. But so far that hasn't happened, and they're able to stay straight as they go into that last turn, going down the hill. So far, no one anywhere near him. And Pinky Vader will be the one moving on. And Yoshi Virus, as well as they did, they will have their time in this tournament cut short here. They can at least say they fought until the very end in order to move on. So that's definitely something to pat themselves, pat themselves on the back for. But now it's time for the finals. And so far, Arlo is undefeated. So I'm sure they want to keep that alive and be the second racer in this tournament so far to do so. The first one, I believe, was Dusty Miles. Yep, Arlo already has the lead. Noob Racing is trying to keep up with them, but is struggling to do so. And Arlo is on that straight path. And they just keep widening that gap ever so slowly, but surely. They get into that last stretch. Here we go into the... And they do cross the finish line. So they are still undefeated with only 3 races to go to keep that alive. And Pinky Vader blocks Captain Marvel there. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the racer name. I'll say it correctly in a second. But Noob Racing finished in second. Pinky Vader blocks the other racer from finishing, but in doing so, they themselves won't finish either. Cloaked After Dark. There we go. I am so sorry. But in the fact that 2 of them didn't finish, it definitely helps the 2 that did. And here we go into the second race. Arlo already has the lead. And the other 3 are trying to keep up this time, and so far it looks like they are, at least relatively. But this turn is often a make or break for many racers. And Arlo is able to hold on to that lead. Pinky Vader is trying to catch them. They definitely have a smaller gap, but as I say that, Pinky Vader spins out again, and it looks like they won't even finish this time. And Arlo finishes in first yet again, Noob in second, Cloaked After Dark in third. And yep, Pinky Vader does not finish again. They definitely fought for their position here in the finals, but it looks like any chance they had to move on to the grand finals is already dashed. Arlo just needs one more win. But it's already looking pretty solid considering one of the racers hasn't finished at all, and one of them didn't finish in the first race. So the odds are definitely tipped in their favor. They would need to do something really drastic to make them lose any chance of moving on at this point, because it's practically guaranteed now. But Arlo is holding on to that lead. Pretty much so far, anytime they grab that lead, they don't lose it. Going into that turn, and no one's close. Going down the hill towards the finish line, and Arlo will be moving on. And now it's just a matter of trying to stay undefeated. And Pinky Vader does try to block Captain Marvel. I keep forgetting that name. I am so sorry. But they tried to block again, and it just did not work. Because they both finished that time. Which is definitely a vast improvement, but at this point, it's pretty much all for naught. Because even Noob Racing has a big lead in points against both of them. And in order for either one of them to move on, the only hope lies in Cloak After Dark. But in order for that to happen, Noob Racing would need to... Actually, no, I stand corrected. For some reason, I thought Noob Racing had 8 points. They have 9. So both Arlo and Noob Racing will already be guaranteed to move on, and the other two will be cut short. And right now, Arlo is trying to stay undefeated. They go down that last dip, and they will. We now have 2 undefeated racers. And now Noob Racing doesn't finish, but at this point, it doesn't matter, because they already had more than enough points to cover for what happened for the other racers. So it will be Noob Racing alongside Arlo moving on into the grand finals. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 racers and 2 of them are undefeated. Thank you for watching. See you later.